Hello, how's it going? Today we're going to speak on one of my favorite artists of all time. Her soul shines through each artwork that she produces, and she gave Mexican culture a voice in the fine art world from the 1970s to the present. Carmen Lomas Garza was born in 1948 in Kingsville, Texas. She was born with amazing natural talent, but perfected her craft in undergrad and graduate studies. See, she went to school and she graduated. Her most popular medium is oil paintings, and she's most famous for portraying her own Mexican American experience in her art. Millions of Chicanas and Chicanos, Latinos, and Latinx people identify with her work, partly because they could see themselves in her artwork. In the early 1990s, she found a wider commercial success with widely popular bilingual books, including Family Pictures in 1990, A Piece of My Heart in 1994, In My Family in 1996, and Making Magic Windows in 1999, which deals with another beautiful Mexican artistic medium, papel picado, or decorative paper cutouts. It's essentially a how-to book. Her style is self-described as an intimate storytelling, especially telling her own Mexican-American family history as a child, from her childhood perspective. And for many, her art is a time machine, transporting the viewer to their old school roots, the Mexican American family in the 1950s and 60s. And this oil painting, specifically a tamalada, captures a popular Mexican American pastime during Thanksgiving, but especially during Las Posadas and Christmas. And that's making tamales, or rather, making them as a family. Food is the centerpiece of getting people together, and it's definitely a centerpiece for Latinos. In the bottom right, you see Carmen and her grandfather cleaning the husk. In the doorway is her father and her little sister, Mary Jane. You can make your own joke if necessary. Her grandma is near the end of the assembly line in the bottom left, lighting up the tamales before they're cooked. This work hangs in the Smithsonian Museum. For those that don't know, tamales are ancient Mexican food. Corn was invented in Mexico about 2.5 to 7,000 years ago. No one knows for sure when. Only after thousands of years of Mexican farmers crossbreeding wild grasses like teosinte, was corn finally created. Corn today would not exist without Mexican farmers. Tortillas, pozole, atole de elote, which is a drink, were some of the most popular uses for ancient corn. But it was probably the Mayans who soaked it and then took the masa to make tamales. And they're freaking amazing and full of carbs, but who freaking cares? It's like a Mexican power bar and it tastes amazing. You can put anything you want in there. And enough tamales were produced not only to feed the immediate family for days, but tamales were distributed for the whole neighborhood. Because that's how we roll. And then here is Grandma. In Sandia, we see a hot Texas night where watermelon is the perfect fruit to stay cool. And there's Grandma again, getting her sandia on. And then what's more Latina than a quinceanera? The equivalent of the Anglo Sweet 16, but we do it at 15 because we grow faster in the barrio. And that's what's up. The quinceanera essentially resembles a wedding with a court of bridesmaids and groomsmaids, damas, and chambelanes. And in this painting specifically, you see the birthday girl or the princess in the lower right corner. And this scene specifically is in San Francisco, where Garza now lives and works. And then you look at the high heels, they're always coming off. And what's going on the top left? Cochinos. Don't worry, it's natural. And families spend a lot of money on this. Usually more than they can afford, but it's a very, very important event. In Cumpleaños de Lala y Tudi, Carmen tells another popular Latino family event, the double birthday celebration. A party for Carmen, nicknamed Lala, and her younger brother Tudi, who actually has the same birthday but 2 years apart. In the painting, you also see her mother in the red dress with white dots, her brother in the yellow shirt, and her grandparents, of course. Grandparents are the Toltecs of any Latino family. You want to be sure that you love your elders as much as you can before they transition over. And who doesn't love a piñata? There's 2 piñatas here, one for each. The rose on the right is got Carmen's piñata, and the blue fish is for her brother Tudi, because he likes fishing. And the backyard is a great spot for a party. And you know what's going on here? And at grandma's house, no less, and with grandma in the room. Although not all her paintings are Dali or Vermeer small, they've always reminded me of 2 traditional Mexican art styles. The first is retablo paintings. Retablos are usually some sort of small piece of Mexican folk art that are a devotional painting to a saint. They generally venerate a Catholic saint or la Virgen de Guadalupe. The other Mexican artistic style are ex voto paintings. An ex voto is a votive offering to a saint, divinity, or a god. It's a fulfillment or a vow in gratitude to that same saint or deity, whoever helped that prayer become successful. So if you prayed for something and it came true, you better get out the paintbrushes. It's time to create some art. Here's a great example of an ex voto. Here's another one. And here's another one. There's this great, small, intimate, familiar, just like Goddess's work. And I've always felt like I was home when looking at her paintings. And Las Posadas is a treasured Mexican Catholic event leading up to La Nochebuena, or Christmas Eve, which is the real Christmas day in most Mexican families. Horribly translated into English as the ends, the event starts 9 days before Christmas and mimics Joseph and Mary's quest to look for shelter before the birth of their child, Jesus Christ. Members of the community caravan, talking, singing, laughing, and walking door to door, looking for a place for shelter for Jesus Cristo. And after 9 days of trekking, when they finally welcome to a home on the last day, everyone is welcomed in with a big celebration, music, and food to celebrate La Nochebuena. Now, Garza's Heaven and House series shows her interpretation of heaven, which is family, music with a charanga band, and people loving each other. And hell is a place for lazy, mean people who walk on and carry gold rocks. And actually, if you look closely, the hearts and the gold, the hearts in heaven and the rocks in hell are actually plated with 22 karat gold. A textile plaza in the 1930s. You know, this artwork is it's amazing. It's extravagant, and I feel like I can hear the music, and I can hear the laughing, and I can see the dancing. It's so real. I can see myself being rejected by most of the women there as well. Maybe even some of the dudes. Carmen's paintings are the closest thing that you can get to actually being there. Baile shows dancing at her favorite Mexican restaurant, El Jardín, where everybody loves dancing, and Carmen, as you can tell, loves dancing. Here is Hammerhead Shark on Padre Island, another great piece of work. And besides the terrific oil paintings she creates, Garza also creates these magnificent, grandiose, multimedia artworks in the style of papel picado, or those paper cutouts. Agave plants with hummingbird. The founding of Mexico Tenochtitlan. The breathtaking works of family. And there's Carmen in front of one of her grandiose, amazing works. Her work at San Francisco Airport. In 2005, the Los Angeles Unified Schools District named one of their brand new schools after Garza, called the Carmen Lomas Garza Primary Center. And what an honor it is for her. Now, as we get to our last slides, we'll see Bedford Dreams, and we'll hear Carmen's words.
Originally, my whole point of making these images is that I wanted for our own community to see themselves in the artwork, in a fine art form, in oil paintings or acrylic paintings, and feel proud of our culture and of our contribution to this country. And now everybody has piñatas for their birthday party. Everybody eats tamales and tacos. When I was growing up, we were the only ones eating tamales and tacos. So this is our gift to the cultures of the United States. Carmen Lomas Garza, 2011.
What an amazing contribution that she has made to the art world for Mexican Americans and just for anybody in general interested in great artwork. Carmen Lomas Garza is an American national treasure. She's in the finest museums in the country and in the bookshelves of many Latino Americans. She also has a place in my heart. And I want to thank you for listening. I want to encourage you to go out and find her work and find her books everywhere. She is an amazing artist. I want to thank you and just have a great day.